Hello, Divine Ones. Welcome. This is One Divine Light, and today I'll be channeling a message that's going to be coming through in both English and light frequency or light language. If you're unfamiliar with light language and you'd like to know more, please see the description box for some links that I think will be helpful in describing more in detail about what light language or light frequency is. So that is what will be coming through me today, and the guides are going to be bringing both a message, dear ones, we wish to share a message today, we wish to share an activation today of the throat chakra, and we wish to share an energy clearing or attunement. Now, the times that you're in, what we would call 2025, so even though these messages are timeless. Whenever you receive it, it's the perfect time for you. Whether it's now or 10 years from now, it's the perfect time for you. Why? Because it is being called in by your soul self, by your divine essence, at the time that is needed for you. Now, today we wish to talk about something that many people express. They express that they feel unhappy about being where they are, whether that is a relationship or a job, and or a family unit where they feel that they cannot not express their truth, and that their truth cannot be brought forward. And as a result of this, they feel very conflicted inside. And now the guys are saying, we hear this often. My partner just doesn't understand, or they're not on the same level that I am on. Like spiritually, they're not on the same level. Or my family doesn't understand me. Totally can relate to that. They don't understand me, and I don't fit in. I don't fit into this square anymore. And they're saying it like a Rubik's Cube, and now they're showing me like tossing the Rubik's Cube. This was always a game anyway. Why play these games? Why fit into a box? It's so boring in a box. You see, you're living in this idea of separation, this idea that where you are is not perfect for you, and that there's some other place that is better for you. You see, this creates a lot of suffering. It creates a lot of tension. What if where you were was perfect? Because it is. What if? And now we say, you're thinking like, we'll use the example of a job right now. That if I left this job, but it could be a relationship, things would be better. They would be better if I could only just leave this, or if I could get this person to change, or I could get these people to change, then it would be perfect, right? And we would say that this is a falsehood. Everything that you're seeing before you is for a purpose. Now, you might say, well, I am seeing things that I do not wish to see, and how could this possibly be purposeful? There is no purpose in pain. There is no purpose in suffering. But the reality is that you are living an earth experience in which there is a portal, two portals. And now they're saying, well, there's many portals, but we want to talk about two. There is the birth and death portal. So I'm kind of like wanting to know more information about this. And these are like gateways or portals in which, oh, this is so beautiful. You come and go. And I'm just going to take a moment here just to see, to feel into this a little bit, to which you come and go, and it's so joyous, and it's so beautiful, and so if I feel into things too deeply, I start to tear up because it's just so beautiful. So one of the things that I have to do in channeling, like in conscious channeling, is to like feel into it and to stay on the borderline of it without going too deep into it, because then I'll start crying, and because it's so beautiful. and they're showing me the portal of death, and the spirit or the soul, this energy leaving the body, and the immense freedom and love that's here with this. When you actually pass, when you leave, it's so beautiful. And all of the constraints and things that you thought were so important while you were here just leave. It's like a weight is lifted, and literally it's that you are lifting out of the weight. So I'm going to go back for their message, okay? I just wanted to like feel into this more. So so we wish to say that it is it is of the utmost importance. These two portals, the birth and death portal, and that you understand that what you experience while you are here in this physicality is important and both not important. We will explain. You see, it is important. You have come here at this time, and you may have what you would call challenges, whether they're in relationships or whether they are in like what you would call your job or your money, your finances, your abundance, and all of it comes back to you. You think that is your circumstances, and if only these circumstances would change, or these people would change, or if I could just leave this job or this thing, then things would be different. But it comes down to you and the attachment you have to the story that you put around these things, the story that you put around your job, the story that you put around your relationship and others, and the story that you put around yourself, because these stories are limitations, and you have to ask yourself, am I willing now to drop the story? And this is really what's going to be required in 2025 and moving forward. 2026, 2028, are going to be big years, massive years of connection and destruction. But do not be scared, because the things that will be destroyed before your very eyes will break down the structures that have been built in fear. All of these things have been built in fear and lack and limitation and control. And there's been a lot of control around contact, and the wish to limit contact with extraterrestrials, and it's to limit contact with really the spirit world altogether, what you would call the spirit world. And how they're showing this to me is that even though we would use the term spirit world, that this, like, there's a different word for this, or there's a different way of thinking of it that is much bigger than this. And there has been over time, over what you would call history or time, a control around allowing this to come forward. But it is coming forward, and it needs to come forward, and that's what you need right now. And that's why this throat chakra activation is not only to speak the words of truth, and the frequency of truth, but to express that in all ways through your vessel called human body into this plane of existence, so you call an earth plane, and you are literally taking light into form. You are taking light frequency into form. You will be taking light frequency into form, and as you speak words, chant mantras, or sing, anything that you bring through your voice box, that is light vibration that is going into form, coming into form, moving into form, and informing the field. Be mindful. Your words are forms. They are forms. Dancing in a field where all can be heard and known. Which means that any frequency that is in the frequency of truth can be heard and known when you dial into that frequency. And so we wish to say that all that is truth, even though we are speaking this now, all that is truth can never be spoken. And I say it's kind of funny, right? Then why are we even speaking? Because these are the times that you are in. These are the ways and the messages and the ways of communication now, you see. When we communicate, we do not use words. We use what you would call like knowing or mind. When we speak what you would say like amongst themselves, we don't talk with our mouths, like we don't talk with words. Oh, this is beautiful. We speak what you would call through the heart portal, and through this thread of existence, and through the mind, and through knowing, and perceptions that are beyond what you are experiencing now on this earth plane. So even what you're experiencing on this earth plane in terms of like what you would call your clairs, we are speaking even like beyond this. So I'm fascinated and now I want to know more. And so we are speaking even beyond this. So they're telling me it's not their message today. So stick to the message today. We are speaking beyond this. You see, and you can speak this way too, which is heart to heart. So even though we are doing a throat chakra activation, please know that is linked to your heart. And they're showing me like a coil that spirals between your throat and your heart, and it spins, and it vibrates. So showing me like a coil, and this coil that spins, and the energy spins and it vibrates. It's like vibrates the coils, and it sends out a resonance, and you are sending out a resonance all the time. So the question is that you're asking now is, so then what do I do if I want to leave my job, or leave a situation, or feel like I'm not understood within a situation, and I want to be my authentic self? And we would say, who is the you that wants to be the authentic self? And we've talked about this before, right? Yes, we have. Because you might have an idea of what it is you would like to bring forward, and we would ask you, who gave you this idea? Ask yourself this and contemplate where this idea came from. There is a silent space, there is a consciousness, there is a vibration, there is a state of beingness. So we would say it's your true state, your divine state. You could call it your soul state, your soul self. You could call it whatever words you like. This state of being, which is your true and natural state that never leaves when you come and go through the portals of birth and death. Like you might think, there is something that comes in at the time of birth and then leaves at the time of death. And we would say it is that perception that this comes and goes, but we would say actually it's just always here. You see, it's always here, it never changes, and then it is experiencing birth and death, but it itself never changes. And humanity has this idea that there is something that comes in and goes back out and sort of changes or goes back to spirit, if you would. And really, that is always here all the time. And it doesn't change. It experiences all the changes. You see, this divinity that you are experiences life. But you think you experience life. And from one point of view, sure, we could say that that would be true. Everything depends on the lens that you're looking through. But we would also say that when you are looking through a dirty glass, and the glasses are chipped and broken, and they have smudges and such on them, that you're seeing a distortion. So, of course, things look this way. And we would say that your divine self knows what it needs and will call it in appropriately when it is needed. And the more that you can open up to this, the more that you can hear. What is the next step? Some of you think, if I leave this job, I really want to leave this 9-to-5 job. I really want to leave this corporate job. I really want to leave this soul-sucking job. Soul-sucking job. And you think it's the job itself that is sucking your soul. But it is your thoughts about it and your relationship with the job that is sucking the soul. Because the soul cannot be sucked. It cannot be moved. It cannot be shaken. It cannot even be hidden. Now I'm asking them about this. It cannot be hidden. Well, isn't it hidden? Because isn't it that we can't always find it? That we sometimes feel out of touch with it. Sure, you might feel out of touch with it, but it is not hidden. Some of you might say that it is hidden in plain sight. And we would say, okay, sure, yes, that could be true. But what if it wasn't hidden at all? You just weren't looking through clean glasses. And if you were, you would see that it was right there. And this is the issue. It is this distortion that is the issue. And so because what if you were in your soul-sucking 9-to-5 job, but your state of beingness was different. And in that, all the things around you changed. You didn't have to change the external. You changed the internal. So how did you change it? Not by fixing it. This is not a Mrs. Fix-It or Mr. Fix-It. The times of fixing yourself are over. You are not a broken pipe. You don't need to get out the tool belt. You are not a leaky faucet. You are a glorious, magnificent, divine ray of light. That is expansive, that wishes to shine its uniqueness here. And now is the time for it. And the more that you embody this, the more that your soul-sucking 9-to-5 job changes. And you didn't have to change it. You didn't have to leave it, force it, do anything. You opened up to your true nature. You embodied, you allowed the space for the embodiment of what is already here, what doesn't really come and go. So you have the idea that the soul comes in and goes out. Well, we would say it's always here. It's just experiencing different manifestations, different experiences. On different or in or on different dimensions, different dimensions, planes of existence, if you like, different experiences, if you will. You think you are here to build yourself a life, to make yourself climb the ladder. You think you are here to climb the corporate ladder. You think you are here, even if you think you are here for a spiritual reason, you still think you are the you that is here for that. So we would say, if you took all of this away, there is something greater that is here that wishes to have an experience of this plane, and this experience you call you, but it is not And the personality self, is the divinity that is always here, and it does not come and go. It just experiences something different. And they're showing it to me like, what is this? They're showing it to me kind of like what I would think is like a jellyfish or some kind of something floating or flowing through all these experiences, but never being harmed by them, never being touched by them. And they don't even want me to say jellyfish, because how they're showing it, I'm trying to give a word to what I'm seeing because I want to share this with you. And how they're showing it to me is just this like thing that's floating, that's experiencing everything, and it never changes. It never changes. It itself never changes. It just changes what it's experiencing. But it itself never changes. And this is who you are. You are this. And there's no words for it. It's only an experience of it. So it is. Now we're going to they're reeling me back in from that. To bring through the activation now. What is this activation for? So that you may express light into form. Divine truth into form. You would say it is to live your truth, and we would say it is to open and embody your soul's truth, which is beyond anything that your logical mind could know, but your soul can inform your mind, as indeed it is informing your physical body and all of its cells, and informing your mind when you allow the space for this to happen. You have to consciously allow the space for this. You see you working together. There needs to be a willingness and an intention, which is a conscious choice by you, and to step back and let go and relinquish your control. And I say and all of the thoughts and experiences that you believe to be so true, and the stories for the truth, because the story is stitched. It is stitched together with bits and pieces. You see, like a quilt, and it is the willingness to stop weaving the thread. It is the stop sewing the pieces together and stop trying to hold things together and fix things and make things better. And you might say, well, why wouldn't I do that? And we would say, well, sure you can, and you can dig your heels in, and you definitely can do that if you want. And we would say that it's not necessary to expend all that energy doing that, because there is a divine expression that wishes to come forward. And that doesn't mean that everything is always perfect all the time. It's like a ladder. So if you were thinking about wanting to get somewhere, because most of you want to get somewhere, you want to fix something, be better, be different, be some other place, be in some other job, some other relationship, be some other way than the way that you are. Even in your physical body, you want something different. And then you say, well, what is the purpose of all these things? If this is so divine, what is the purpose of these challenges that I have, or these sicknesses or illnesses, or problems in my relationship, or lack of abundance? What is the benefit of all this? And we would say, if you thought of it like climbing a ladder that never ends, climbing a ladder that you wish to just get to the top already. You want to be happy and at peace all the time. And we would say you already are. And this is this state of being that we said never comes, it never goes. It's always here. This state of being, and realizing you are this state of being, has its own happiness, but this happiness isn't attached to an outcome. It's not attached to an event. It's not attached to a material object. It's not attached to a condition. It just is. Its isness is this state. But we would say it's not even happiness. It's beyond that. It's a word that can't be even described with language. And that's why we bring through the frequency. Because where the language may not be enough, The frequency is like the top up to it, if you would, because it moves beyond intellect, and it is in resonation with the truth, and it reminds you that you are that, you are this frequency. We're not bringing a frequency that's outside of you. We are bringing a frequency that is in alignment with you. This is you. You are calling this in. Your soul self is calling this in. So Iyamana si atoni shi linia toki amaitai si shi awata soti amata sikia angels now. Tini si atari shi apakata sanikera satakarasa. We walk among you always. Anisi eterokorosota. Yes, there are earth angels. There are many angels with you. I'm asking them because they're showing themselves to me. So you have angels with you always. And angels like what you would call like assigned to you, but they're not really assigned to you. Some of them are your soul, like family, and what you would call like a family. And some of them are protectors, and guiders, and have different, what you would call different purposes, but always is the same purpose, to be with you always. TC, shoo. So the angels wish to share this frequency now. Sushi. Sibatai Kyoto Shupetesati Apayu Yukutushi Ratatiata Sotika Sutichi Papa Katasukua Takatu Papa Katasa Tukatasa Katawa Papa Katasa Pakatasa Kuti Nisharo Pasi Alai Sialai Ti Papa Sakita and they're bringing us into the throat chakra activation. They're preparing the ground for it now. I've never experienced this before. Where angels come first to prepare the way in this way. And with their own specific frequency to this message. And the angels surround you and they wrap you in love. And they're like literally hugging you now. And this is so beautiful. And with their wings, like wrapping around. And Asaya shikiata sokreshi karasaya takarasaya shaya karasa, be free. And asaya torokorosa, because you are free, yakarasa takarasa, you have always been free. And asaya torokorosa takarasa 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 yakarasa takarasa takarasa, you are not trapped. Ioroto korosa takarasa, you are not stuck. Iniaya takarasa takarasa takarasa, it is like an octopus tentacles. They're saying tentacles. Iokoroto karasa, that you keep reaching out and grabbing things instead of just letting things go by. Let them go by. Like leaves on the top of the water or something floating on the top of the water, let it go by. Stop reaching out to grab everything. Let it go. And if it comes towards you and onto the like a shore where you are or by the water where you are, then perhaps that is meant for you then, because it is stopping there. You don't have to expend all this energy reaching and grasping and jumping in the water and swimming after things and trying to get things. What you need comes to you. Be. Please now begin the throat chakra activation for courage to open and embody and express upon this earth plane, your divine soul expression. Now they're singing. I can hear the song. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. They're singing this like love, sweet love. And they're moving my body like to flow with the music now. Because this is what the world needs now. And you are going to see some frenzy, some panic. Don't panic. Just because you see it doesn't mean you have to react to it. You are going to see it. And you are going to see the ships collide. But don't worry. In order to have a relationship, two ships can't pass each other. They must be in tune with one another. And sometimes that's a bumpy road that causes a little bit of a collision. And even so, the best outcome will happen because it is so. Because it will be so. It will be so. Because we are sowing the seeds together. Together. We are sowing the seeds together of the highest timeline, of the highest outcome. As you shift, as you change, as you move, as you rotate. Spin. And the spinning is an attunement to the truth of who you are and all is, and what you are and all is. And you will be in alignment with this because you already are. The best outcome is already here. It is already so. And we will together release and relinquish the tentacles of fear that have plagued you. And they're showing it to me like suction cups, like all over your body, like holding and wrapping around it like this. And it's like, you feel like, I just don't know which way to go. And it's like trying to get these like old ways of being off. And you see though, when you struggle and you are attached to this story, you create more of the same, you create more of this. But when you let go of all of it, you see, it's like you slide right out of it. How we showed me previously, this floating, it's like you literally just float right out of the tentacle grip. You just float right out of it. Stop having a relationship with the story. And stop having a relationship with the story. And it's gotta be in relationship to your soul, which speaks without a story. It has no story. Your soul is not going to speak to you in a story. And you might say, yes, my soul is going to speak to me. It's going to tell me about my past lives. This will be a story. So doesn't my soul speak to me in stories? You will know the difference between your soul speak and your mind speak very simply. Your soul speaking to you will never involve fear. It will never involve shame or blame or guilt. When your soul speaks to you, it is speaking as you. It is speaking as you. You are not what you think you are. I've never had that happen before. That was different. Okay. The soul speaks without fear. My dear, it speaks without fear. My dear, my dear, my dear, Anasaya Takarasa, my dear ones, Yoroto Kiyasai. The soul speaks without fear, Anasaya Takarasa. Fear is not here. It is not there. It is not anywhere. Iniyaya Takarata. Fear is a story. Iniyakarasa, that doesn't exist on its own without your story and your belief in the fear. Stop telling the story of fear. Stop weaving the story of fear. Even though we say that things might fall apart, they will definitely fall apart. This is not a negative thing. There is no fear. Sometimes you have to stop sewing. You have to stop knitting, crocheting, putting the squares together, and have an unfolding of the blanket, an unfolding of the soul, the blossoming of the heart, the blossoming of the flower, which can only blossom when you stop trying to cover it with all of the stories. Why would you keep putting dirt on top of the flower that's trying to bloom? It doesn't require the dirt anymore. In the beginning, it required the dirt, but now it doesn't require that anymore. Stop the story. This is very simple. But we know sometimes it's hard. The story isn't great. Okay, throat chakra activation. Now, please, your heart, our heart is one heartbeat. One heartbeat. And there is a thread that runs through all of existence. And now we wish to do an energy clearing for your throat chakra. This will do clearing of all of your chakras, your complete energy system sweep, energy system sweep. So we wish to begin this now, and this will be very powerful. So kiana so richi mia tu he so haisho maitoshi halasaya tara kisene ashakapata sikia toroso kia huchi mara shkarata so eva takasa To realize your expansive state, your expansive state, your expansive state, your expansive state, your expansive state. Yokoroso is here now. It has always been here. It will always be here. It will never not be here. It is always here now. Activation, please. And you see the throat chakra activation, and heart chakra activation, so that the wisdom of the heart gets expressed. Yes, vocally expressed, in frequency, like what you would call like light frequency, light language, songs, like chanting, music, whatever you speak, you're speaking form. You're speaking light into form, and that you choose this wisely, and you choose it in alignment with your soul, and with the one soul, with the one tone, with the one truth. We wish now activate, please, And you may come back to this anytime. As you feel you need courage. As you feel swallowed. As you feel held back by external circumstances or by your own mind. You may come back to this activation as many times as you need. Let it support you as it needs, as you need to be supported. Until you realize you are this message. You are this message. Oh, did you think you were you and we were we and she is she? No, we are all this message. We are one and we are none. At our heart, we are one. And beyond all things, we are no thing. We are nothing. We are no thing. That is everything. That never comes and goes. It always stays. Activate. And I see it. Sanishia Wutuni Amay Dru Amasai Halasene Kereba Shobe Badasere Gerasata. And there is a release of control. And a masculine energy that is like not a divine masculine. What is this? More information, please. The like sort of can I say that? Yes. Okay. So is a releasing of the egotistical male energy, and this has nothing to do with gender at all. This is an energy of pushing and control, and has nothing to do at all with gender. It has to do with the earth expression, and these antiquated ideas, and around power. Antiquated ideas around power and control. And this like sort of like a patriarchal type of energy. Okay, like this type of energy. Releasing for divine masculine energy to be embodied. Energy is energy. That can be changed and transformed. Transmuted. Shaped. You can take your words, and you can shape them into something. You can take your thoughts as a light energy, you can shape it into something. And we can remove this energy and shape it, reshape it, transmute it, so it is reshaped. So it goes back to what it was, which is divine, and strengthens this divine masculine. Do you understand this? This transmuting process. So it leaves. There. I feel leaving out through my right side. It leaves because it is not needed in this form anymore. And it is transmuted, or it returns to the light that it has always been. You see it, this thing that they were showing me earlier. whatever this is, this floating thing. You see, that's what this like patriarchal type of energy that has been on the earth plane, and a lot of like controlling that has been here. This type of energy here has always been. This divine state, having an experience of this, and being like, and now this experience or this story of patriarchy being released, and as it is released, then there is no longer this experience of this anymore. Then this divine state, this divine self, this has a new experience. Returns to what it has always been. No, it's not this. It fully embodies what it has always been. I need more explanation, please. And it drops the story. You see, when you drop the story, then you are, what you have always been. And so it is what it has always been. It has always been a divine energy. It has always been a divine frequency. It has always been a divine source. And that source can re-manifest or re-transform into something. And this something in this case is strengthening the divine masculine upon this plane. And so this masculine energy leaving you now, and anything that was associated with the patriarchy, and however that was for you, personally, ancestrally, within your family unit, within your community, and being oppressed, all of this, all of this story, pain, suffering, along with this being removed in this activation today, because it is necessary to move up vibrationally. Now you think you might be moving up vibrationally, and from one point of view, yes, you could say that to be true, but we would just say it's a layer that releases, that allows you to see more clearly. You see the thing that is always here, that never changes, and when the layer of story is released, then you can see this more clearly, and it has more space to embody. You get it? Do you understand this? And so this third eye activation for internal knowing, to remove the dirty glasses, to see beyond the distortion now. Thank you. Continue. Ayoro Suri. Nasakara se she abaya doro sho beara sini atakene se chiala shola si anasai shori Anasai turi shalanaya maturi sura malashu. Saini ashayoro toko sone shay alayasana saitakarasai shukarasatakarasa. Courage to move forward, iokorosa to see beyond the illusion, ioroto korosoto korosoto korosa, inesekarasa tikorosa to embody the truth, iokorosoto korosa to let go of the stories, iana sayatakarasa takarasa, and to be your authentic self, iorokosa, your soul self, your divine self. Analasaishu. And call upon the angels, Yokoroso, that are with you and surround you. They are with you and surround you, because they are you and one with you. You don't really need to call outside of yourself. They are inside of you, because inside of you, in your heart, what you would call your heart, you are attached to all things. You are one with all things. You are unified. You are unified with all things. So you don't need to think about angels coming from far to you. They're here. Right here, right now. And that's what they're telling me and showing me. And I feel that they're right here, right now. Open your arms. And receive the love that is here. The love that is you. The love that is us. The love that just is. It is, it is, it is, it is, it is. So it is. This energy is moving me. It's so powerful. So back. They're sending out a tower. And it's like a tower. And from my heart, out like branches. Why is this a tower? So we're saying it to you like this because it is coming out from you. That is like a broadcast to all. They're showing it to me like a tree branches almost, but not like this. It's like it's interesting. It's like tentacles, but not like an octopus. It kind of looks just like long threads. Yeah, threads. Thank you. Sometimes I'm trying to put words to what I'm seeing. And we are connected through this energetically. And this message is being sent through this weave, through this web, through this broadcast. Okay, Soni Shiara Tai Karasa Takarasa Shine Shikoroto Korosoto Koroso Takinasai Takarasai Shine. Thank you. Arasaya Toro Koroso Takarasai. Thank you so much to the guides for sharing this transmission today, and thank you so much for sharing in this experience with us. And as always, we're sending you so much love. Thank you.